X is the 10th movie in the Saw franchise and serves basically as a direct sequel to the original Saw. John Kramer, the Jigsaw Killer, he's been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. He only has so many months left to live. He then learns about this group of doctors that's working on this particular study that hasn't been approved yet, but when they do it, it has shown a 90% success rate in curing cancer. He meets up with these doctors, he pays them, he undergoes the treatment, he is told that he is now cancer-free and can live his life. Soon enough, though, he learns that these doctors aren't even real doctors at all. They are con artists. What they do is they find cancer patients, bring them in, rob them of their money, put them under procedures that do absolutely nothing. These are people who are still gonna die from their terminal cancer. They just took their money. He's the latest sucker in the matter, and now John Kramer is gonna get back at these people the only way he knows how. And that is abducting all of them, putting them in a warehouse, and making them play games for their lives. I've never been super into the Saw franchise. I've always loved the concept of it. I mean, you have the Jigsaw Killer, that is John Kramer. He takes these people who have done some really bad, horrible things in their life, and he hooks them up to these traps, makes them play these games that are going to severely hurt them. But if you do it right, you will escape with your life, and you will hopefully now have a new outlook on how you should live. But he's a serial killer with a code of conduct, which makes him a really interesting character. I mean, the first Saw, when I saw it, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a slasher flick, but had a little bit more to it. It wasn't just a straight up, serial killer for the sake of serial killer. Like I said, it was a guy who had a purpose, who had a meaning behind what he was doing. And I didn't see a single Saw movie after that until I saw Spiral, which was the Chris Rock Saw movie that wasn't really a sequel, it was more of a spinoff, and it was fine. But I gotta tell you, Saw X, I haven't seen any of the other Saw movies, but I'm hearing other people say it's the best Saw movie since the original Saw. And I think I'd have to agree with that. First of all, again, John Kramer is such a great character. I mean, yeah, he puts people through some really fucked up shit in order to teach them a lesson about life and about being a better person. But, I mean, in the case with this movie, what I loved about this one is it made him the clear protagonist. Because in the past, when he would put people under these traps, I mean, they had done some very questionable things, but part of you had to wonder, it's like, do they really deserve to go through this? In this case, the people that he has abducted and are forcing to play these games and he's torturing them, I mean, these are people who are robbing dying people of their hard-earned money, whatever money they might even have left, to take it away from them, give them false hope, and basically just still gonna lead them to a certain death. In this case, you are rooting like hell for John Kramer throughout this movie. It's like, yeah, go get these sons of bitches, fucking torture them, make them pay. Like, this movie did what Don't Breathe 2 tried to do, but didn't really execute it as well. It's like, let's take the really old, creepy, scary, maniacal man and make him the hero of the story now. Also, as someone who's not really a fan of this franchise, I don't really know too much about the chemistry between John Kramer and Amanda Yan, who, is the woman that survives the first trap, became his apprentice. But I really do like the chemistry between the two of them. I mean, you definitely feel a student to mentor, even father to daughter kind of relationship between the two of them. I mean, she's afraid of losing him. She's afraid of, his illness just catching up with him, which it's going to. But you also do see a heart in her. And I feel weird saying that because they are people who are setting people up to die. But, again, you see that he has taught her to have that code of conduct, and you see just a level of sympathy she has for certain people. Like, there's this one character that gets lumped into the warehouse with the other doctors and everything like that, but you don't really know how much of a role she's played into it. She seems like, kind of like the girl that was at the wrong place at the wrong time. She was kind of forced to be a part of it, and what I like seeing with Amanda is she sees some of her in this girl. Like, this girl has her problems. This girl has contributed to a degree, but I don't think she was fully aware of what she was involved in. And that's what's really nice right there. Like, not everyone in the warehouse necessarily is this lying scumbag piece of shit necessarily. Some people just may have gotten involved with the wrong people. Also, I think the traps in this movie are really well done and very creative. I mean, it's really smart in the way that John Kramer sets them up to kind of cater towards whatever someone did for a living or what they were passing off as what they did for a living, and making it like, it's like, all right, this is what you said you do, now you're gonna do something like this in order to get your ass out of it. And yeah, when people go through some stuff, it's very bloody, it is graphic, and it kind of has to like, oh man, that's fucking brutal. It's like, like, if these characters can walk away, which is possible that they can, they're going to be left with something that's going to remind them of what put them in that situation. Like, yeah, John Kramer wants to teach these people a hard lesson that is hopefully going to set them on a better path. Also, the final act of this movie, I really dug the shit out of it. I mean, it's really intense. It's really coming down to the wire of just what's going on with the people who tried to get the better of John Kramer. You really do grow in this movie to care about very particular characters, whom you want to survive and whom you do not want to survive. There are various moments in the finale I'm like, okay, if it ends the way I think it's going to end, it's going to drag the movie down quite a bit for me. I'm like, I really hope it doesn't go down that route. For me, they were able to really bring it home by the end, and I was very satisfied with the finale of it. I guess if there's a flaw that I would have with this movie is it does take a little while to get going, which I understood because, you know, you have to understand, like, you know, the scam that these doctors are trying to put out there. You have to see a little bit of what John Kramer is dealing with, what he's going through. And even during the whole warehouse moments where, you know, they have all these guys held captive and they're preparing them for their traps and their games, everything that goes into it. It's not just, you know, it's like, all right, we have them all together. Now just send out all the games. Let's get this shit going. Like, there is some character development, some storylines that we're hearing and, you know, just kind of seeing like how, you know, these people are potentially going to work together or if they're even going to work together. Makes for some slow moments in the movie for sure, but none that really compromise it that much for me. So all in all, Saw X, it was a really damn good Saw movie. John Kramer's the same brilliant, extreme, over-the-line, genius serial killer that has that code of conduct, so it can't make you hate him. In some ways, especially in this movie, you're really rooting for him. I like that it made you root for him in that sense. Love the chemistry between him and Amanda Yan. I love seeing the traps in this movie. I love that it really makes you hate the people he's going after, so you want to see people suffer in this one. It's bloody, it's graphic, it's extreme, it's everything you could hope for in that sense from a Saw movie. And in the end, although this is not a franchise that I'll probably go back and I'll watch every single Saw movie that came prior to it, this is one that I will happily go back and revisit, that's for sure. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.